Well, hello, leaders, and welcome to week 5 of your 13 Weeks to Success. I am Tina Bridges.
Tracy Worley.
John Canoy. And we're so happy to be with you today.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to go over the week 5, and I know that some of these things look the same, but what our goal is that you have like a plan every single week, and several things are going to be, you need to do these tasks every week to be successful at the end of 13 weeks, and it helps kind of get you going into the same rhythm and process. So the first thing, you want to plan your weekly team meeting. So on your calendar, before your meeting, so if you're going to have it on Tuesday, you may want to plan like the week prior, what am I going to talk about? So make sure on your calendar that you do have that plan to do your team, to have your team meeting.
The second thing you want to do is track your team's progress. And, is it where you want to be? Start asking yourself questions from your team questions. Is this where you want to be? Where is it that you want to go to? What can you improve? What has been fantastic? Track your team progress on a daily, weekly basis if possible.
And make sure that you've got each new team member having a grand opening, whether it's online or live. Get out there and get those stores open.
And team recognition, Dawn's going to go over more of this in detail, but when you're planning your week, you want to make sure who you're going to recognize this week. So who am I going to need to make a phone call? So look up your reports or things that you've been talking when you've had your one-on-one conversations with new and customers and everything. Just who you need to recognize, whether it's a customer or recruit. So know who you're going to be recognizing that week.
Add your 5th team member or more if you're past it, but get to that goal. What's your, how are you going to do it? Where are you going to go? Shoot for that 5th team member to really make a solid team.
And make sure you're hosting your 3rd product focus, whether it's live or online. Always pick out something that you're talking about and teaching your team to talk about so that they have something that they're making that contact for, and that will continue to build their business. And always, every time, offer that business opportunity, because you never know who wants to join your team next.
And don't forget about those power hour calls. You need to be doing this and teaching your new team members to do this as well. Who is on your list? Who are you going to invite to your grand openings or your leader meetings? Who are you going to be talking to? So make sure throughout the week you have a few power hours blocked off that you're going to be talking about your business, whether it's growing your business, your customers, or leaders. So make sure there's power hours on the calendar.
And start a team newsletter. And we're going to talk about this a little bit in detail in a few minutes, but start a new team newsletter because it gets everybody on the same page, and it's going to be exciting and fun, and people will look forward to that coming from you.
And make sure you add new contacts to your list. That web office on your computer is an invaluable tool for you. Make sure that everyone that you give your brochure to, that you get their name, their email, and their phone number. And then when you get home, put that in under your customer database so that they're constantly start getting those e-reminders from Avon, because you never know if they may lose that book that you gave them or give it to someone else or, whatever. But and you've lost that contact, they can't contact you back. But if you've got their information, you can always follow up with them.
Well, now let's talk about our team meeting agenda. So you should have blocked off some time where you can really plan this each time. So what are the things you're going to do at the team meeting? Share your team's progress. We kind of talked about that. And this, you're going to want to have the same kind of agenda and add a little things each time. But you're going to share the progress, recognitions, and then the next step. So, for example, you've got a new team member who's added customers, or they've added a new team member themselves. So you want to recognize them and say, okay, what's next? You want to talk about, okay, know their goal ahead of time. So if it was Dawn says she wants to be a promoter and she wants to be whatever that next thing is. So recognize and say, Dawn has just made promoter and her goal is to be a leader, and Dawn is going to do this. So recognize what they're going to be doing each time. And you want to coach the team to show recognition. So when they are new, even if they've got one team member on the team, make sure they know how to show recognition. If it's at a meeting, ask them to say, hey, will you recognize your new person? If it's a call, it doesn't matter if it's in person or a call, have an open call and have them share their progress with their team as well. You got to teach that coaching skills to your downline. Share challenges on your group pages. And what I mean by that, say there's a new product focus, challenge your team and say, we've got 5 bug guards. Who can sell 5 bug guards this week? And give that challenge. So challenge your team and put that out there and have recognition for that as well. Review your calendar as well as them. Ask them to show their calendar. Say, let me see your calendar, and bring it to what their goals are. So if it was Dawn was my new recruit and Dawn told me she's going to be a promoter and a leader, I would say, okay, what activities are you going to do on your calendar to reach that? So you want to teach them to plan those tasks on that calendar, reach those goals. So if Dawn says she's going to do that, say, okay, what are we going to, do you have events? Do you have calls? Do you have, what are you going to do on that? So you might want to list things that need to happen and give your team list of tasks that's going to help them reach those goals. And plan events and things together. Make it fun. So if you got a new team member and they're kind of nervous about setting up an event, see if you can help them. You may not be able to be in person with them, but you definitely can do those coaching calls, like we call it hosting calls. Go over things with them. How are you going to set the table, make sure they're organized, help the words to use, plan the things together. If you could do it together in person, it'd be great. If they're going to host a party online, help them plan that and walk them through the process. Don't leave them alone when it's their very first event. Make sure they're putting those plans on the calendar. So if they're going to plan a hostess party, don't forget, place it on the calendar. Making sure whatever the products, every campaign, so if your meeting falls within the beginning of a new campaign, talk about the products that are coming out. We share these things on the group. You got your what's new. Pick products that you're going to focus on and help them know the benefit of the products. That's something that you can do each time. Talk about the products, the benefits, how much money they're going to make if they sell so many. Just always do that hosting, coaching constantly with your team.
Okay, so now we could talk a little bit more about the team customer newsletter, and what a great way to include your team or even in your customers if you send them out a weekly or bi-weekly newsletter. More bi-weekly because they could be a bit filled with information. Or every campaign, that's the way you want to look at it. So why a newsletter? You want to build team branding. You want your team to be all on the same page. It's consistency. It's a connection with all of them. It's something that they can look forward to. And the same thing with your customers, and maybe switch it up a little bit. It's product branding, and as your customer sees what's going on in Avon, maybe customers will convert to team members as well. Again, you're with that consistency, you're connecting to everybody because maybe you don't get a chance to speak to everybody. And it's one form of communication from you. They know that you're going to have like every campaign, and it's a very organized way to share. Keep it simple. Okay, it doesn't have to be this big fancy, because the more difficult that you make it, the less you're going to want to do it, honestly. So keep it simple, because that is the best way to keep it consistent. And ways you can do it, there is just a Word document. If that's all you can do, Word document, you can make them look pretty. There's different designs. Word document, perfect. If you want to get involved in some of the websites out there, there's constantcontact.com and smore.com, and they can help you put together beautiful websites as well. Or there's also free templates online that you can find as well to do your newsletter. But what a great way to connect everybody. And here's the content. And, I know we have a couple people on the line, so share what you think that maybe could be in the content outside of what we have on here. So the team highlights, what's going on in the team, what were the team's successes, recognize a few people. Do you have a team member of the campaign, or did a few team members do something out, outstanding with their numbers? Just all their highlights, just any little successes. Nothing's too small, nothing's too big, just recognizing them for that campaign. So what's coming up? Products, events, who's got tents and tables, who's going to the local flea market, are there fairs? Let's, pick your favorite products as well. Focus on product focuses for that campaign coming up. What are the team challenges? Because yes, we can, look at all our highlights, but what challenges can we face? Because as we come together as a team, maybe you're finding it's a team challenge, but there's someone on your team that can turn it into a highlight and then help everybody out. And then a customer spotlight. You have a great customer who's great with skincare and you want to spotlight her. What testimonials do they have? Why do they use a particular mascara? You know, take a picture with a dress on, the jewelry and the makeup because she's from Avon from head to toe. So there's so many different ways that you could do different things to make it fun and inspiring. But this is such a great, just, you know, think of it, it's a great way to connect with all your customers and all your team members.
So one thing we also want to do to help really build your business is the art of appreciation. And this comes from your heart. This is you and your personality shining through. And recognition is such a key in your business, whether you're recognizing your team or customers. There's so many ways to do it through newsletters, social media, texting, postcards, and stuff, but it's got to come from the heart. So if you're recognizing your team, maybe it's a post on your team Facebook about their success that they had, or recognizing their birthdays or their Avon anniversaries online. Maybe the recognition is also when they share a great idea with you and you repost that online. You're validating them as a member of your team by saying, I want to share some great ideas that came from so-and-so. And that tells the world that this person is got some great ideas going. You know, just little things that you can do for your team as you build your line. Think about things that make you feel important and make you feel special. If they're local to you, meet them for a coffee or a donut. Thank them. Or do a drive-by blitz and leave a goodie bag on their door that just says, I wanted to pop by and tell you you're special. You know, that could be made fun for your local team. You know, or even your local customers. Get some of the little individual bags of popcorn, put a note in this, just popping by to let you know how important you are to me. Just be creative, okay? Your customers, keep up with their birthdays. Do a customer contact card so you know when their birthday is, when their anniversary is. You know how many children they have. If they have small children, grandchildren, learn your customer. What's their favorite color? And that allows you throughout the year to spontaneously do something creative. Like at Easter, you may have little plastic Easter eggs, and you make up your own coupons of, you know, a 10 to 20% off coupon. And they pick an egg out from your basket, and whatever they open up is the discount they get on their next order. Or you know that they have 3 small children and it's Halloween. Put 3 little candies in their bag. Say, hey, give my Avon babies, tell them I said trick or treat, because they just like to be acknowledged, and that's individual acknowledgement. So it makes them feel special. And when you make them feel special, trust me, they will never leave you. And when you're sharing those things that you're doing with your customers, with your team, so that they can get that ongoing with their team, it just means a lot. If you have their addresses, pop them in a card in the mail once in a while. We all love to get something in the mail occasionally that's not a bill. So, you know, just feel it from your heart. Don't fake it, because they'll know if you're faking it, okay? Really know, because your team, that is their bread and butter is your bread and butter. So you want to make them feel strong and powerful and good. And your customers, that's your money in your pocket. That's your livelihood. We do appreciate our customers. So all of this is real and truthful and valid. And just know recognition is key. And we want you to not worry about if you're not recognized, if you're not on the Falcon Flyer, if you're not whatever, okay? Do the things with your business that are worthy of recognition, because those things, while you might not have made the Falcon Flyer this time, if you're doing the things that are worthy of their recognition, you're going to grow to get to there. Those things that you do every day, they're the foundation to your successful business. And you will be recognized, and you're also going to know on your own terms, hey, I did this, I'm valuable. And that is, you know, is the perfect way. And we're so glad that you've taken the time to invest in yourself by joining us on these calls. This is a building process. We're going to take some ideas and we're going to go over them all the time, because those are your consistent markers. And we're going to add new things for you each week to make your business stronger and stronger. And just know, we appreciate you. We recognize you and your successes, and we want to take it even further. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys. Thank you.